Before I start this video is a part 2 to my first hot takes video that I did a couple days back. If you haven't checked out that one, go check that one out first before I talk about what my friends had to say about this college basketball March Madness season upcoming. However, if you have watched this, please enjoy this video. I think it was one of the most funnest things I've filmed in a little while. So, yeah, please go check it out. And, yeah, thank you. I get to my friends' takes of what they said. I'm not name dropping anyone. I'm not gonna say any of their names. I'm just gonna describe like how that person is, who they like a little bit, if they have bias against like anyone, and that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna give them any I'm not giving them any like ridicule. That's all I'm gonna say, because they're all my friends, not doing anything. All right, so first take comes from my boy that goes to University of Delaware. Um, Pretty good. I talked to him pretty actively. He's not really a college basketball guy at all, but he still wanted to do it for the video. So shout out to him. He gave me one good take, and it is either Duke or UConn will win the whole thing. So first let's just go through the take of UConn repeat or three-peat. I don't think it's ever been done in college basketball history. This is the year of the three-peats. Um, we already tried seeing the Chiefs do it earlier this year. Didn't happen. The only person that has actually done a three-peat so far this year is Mac McClung in the dunk contest. So, what are the chances that UConn can do a three-peat? I do have a take later that we'll talk more about UConn, but you have to watch out for UConn no matter what. I know everyone's like, this isn't UConn's year. They're not going to get put in it as higher than like maybe an 8 seed, but they could be one of those 8 seeds that makes it all in the Final Four out of nowhere, just because of how much experience Dan Hurley has in coaching. So think about it. However, my thing is when UConn gets on that floor, plays their first game against maybe a Ohio State, maybe like a Utah State. I'm just saying that will be easy. They will have to go get to 1 seed after that, and if it's Florida, Bama, Auburn, I think if it's any of those four, they're done. They're out. They're not moving on. I think they're done after that. It will be close, but I think they're done after that. There's no way I expect a UConn team that's been pathetic all year, not playing up how they should be, to move on and do all this. Do I think they're a threat to March Madness? Yes, you can't just look past back-to-back national champions and be like, hey, they're not threats to us. But on paper, they don't feel like they're going to move on. So I'm going to cut out UConn moving on. However, let's get to Duke. Like I said earlier about Duke, someone's had Duke getting first rounded. Well, let's talk about Duke going all the way to winning. That's going to be fun to talk about. They'll get past, I think they could make it past Baylor, Mississippi State, all of those. I think they're at least Sweet 16 bound, no matter what. Now, who would they play out of like Ole Miss, McNeese, Michigan State, Lipscomb in the brachiology? Probably Michigan. If they play a Michigan team, I'd love to see that game. That'd be a great game to see. Um, okay, I think Duke will win that. Then Duke would probably play a team like Tennessee, because I think Tennessee would eventually get out that. Team like Tennessee, team like Arizona, I think, because I think Tennessee Arizona would match up in that round of Sweet 16, and then they would have to play Duke. Duke would definitely win that game too. I think I could see with their defense can shut down Tennessee in an instant. And I think they could also shut down a team like Arizona. Now the issue is about Duke of why I want to take Duke so bad. So their team's just on paper good. Their opponents they face though have not been the best though. It's just I don't know what to say about it because they haven't really had too many teams that have a good resume when they did beat Arizona earlier this year. And they beat Auburn, the best team in the country, earlier this year too, by a good 6 points. But you're just playing harder teams. I feel like Auburn, yes, is still the best team. But for them to win the whole thing, they could easily get past all these teams, get to Auburn, get cut. I don't think they'll get past Auburn. End of the day, Auburn is still one of those teams that I just don't know where they're gonna fall. I think Auburn's kind of a lock to make it at least past to the Final Four or the Elite Eight. So Duke, honestly, I think could get cut against a team like uh like Alabama, like one of those one seeds that they would have to go against, possibly in the Final Four. But again, Duke hasn't really played a real team that I could see them beating. Like they could just lose straight up to Arizona, lose to Tennessee because they get outshot type move. So I'm gonna go with my gut here. I will take Duke to move on to the final eight, get cut. Or Duke is the first one seed out and they get around eliminated in the round Sweet 16. So, in my opinion, no, Duke or UConn will not win the whole thing this year. I'm gonna say it confidently. UConn, I mean, ESPN has pushed Duke to be the whole best team this year. They get every ESPN game, doesn't matter who they're playing, and they have the ESPN game tonight against Virginia, and they're playing Virginia, horrible team. They still get all the ESPN games, no matter what. So, in my opinion, no, UConn or Duke will not win. For my hot tip for the rating, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 10. You have to watch UConn. You always have to watch Duke. I just don't see either of them winning now. Thank you for the take. Next up, I never thought the day this would come. I'm gonna be talking about Towson basketball on my channel. So the hot take is Towson will uh make a Cinderella run or will make a Cinderella run as a take. This comes from my friend who's a big fan of Syracuse. A big fan of Syracuse. Also look for it. My opinion about this, no. Just no. Um, I don't know. They've been playing pretty good recently though. That's the only thing I can really give to them. They are in brachiology as a fifth are they in right now? As a 15? I think they're as a 15 right now. They go against Tennessee, yeah. So going against Tennessee is no easy task, and if they want to beat Tennessee, they gotta at least somewhat defensively stop them, or they just don't shoot well. So, and Towson has a defense that could do that. Do I see it? No, not at all. I don't even know what to say for this. I'm not trying to dismiss it, but I'm gonna dismiss it just straight away because I don't see it happening. That take gets me 0, no flames, 0 out of 10. But the next take is Florida wins the whole thing. This is the take I've been kind of waiting for because I love this take. Florida has the team to win it all this year, and people don't see that. People don't see that Florida has a team to win it all this year. They clearly have it on their resume that they could win it all this year, but people just don't want to see that. I feel like, but let's talk about it. Florida has done it all this year. They're in defense, eighth in offense. Teams they've lost to are like Tennessee. They lost to Missouri by a point. Lost to Kentucky when they're pretty much healthy. But besides that, they've beaten awesome teams. They just beat Auburn last week in a crazy game that no one saw coming. I felt like it was just amazing to see there. It'll be Tennessee earlier this year. They've beaten teams that on paper are really good, and they can always just it's just great to see that. Remember, Florida was one of the best teams at one point going into the season. They went straight 13-0 without losing a game. They've only lost 3 games since going into one of the hardest conference in basketball to play in. And I think, yeah, it did help that they did get a lot of easy matchups to start off with. But even that, they're still playing pretty well overall. And I think they're the second best team in the SEC behind Auburn. And then you got Alabama right behind, right ahead of them as their best team. So they're just so crazy that they're eighth in offensive efficiency. They can always score. They're just an excellent shooting team, and they can just always shoot threes if they need to. It's just they're scary to watch. So honestly, I see the hype for Florida actually winning the whole thing. I actually really like the take of Florida winning the whole thing this year and possibly just wrecking everyone. Not wrecking everyone that they come past, but I think honestly they could just like just it wouldn't be close for some of these games. I feel like they can run UConn at the gym, uh, kill maybe a team like Wisconsin, or Memphis, and then get out A&M pretty easily. And once you're at Final Four and you're facing a team like Auburn you already beat, I think they have their numbers still. You might not think that, but I still think they do. They move on to the finals, and if they're playing one of those 1 or 2 seeds, I think they would take it in the end. They have that team, that good of a team, that they could do it. I think I really like this take. Solid 9 out of 10. I love the take. It's great. Um, no, not 9 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Great take, honestly. Probably the best take I've heard all day. Thank you for your take, by the way. Next up, I don't even know how to describe this person. I guess 2 words. He's just a football prodigy. That's all I'm gonna say. And no, it's not who. It's not the next person that you're thinking about. If you think it's you, it's not you. I know I'm gonna say for you. But his take, first of all, Oklahoma makes it to the Sweet 16 round. Um, Again, I kind of had to talk about Oklahoma. They're a 10 seed right now, and they were really good at the start of the year. Then just deteriorated when they played SEC teams. So, is it the SEC teams that are doing it for them, or is it that Oklahoma is just not made for the sport anymore, and they're just not that good? Let's talk about it. Oklahoma is a solid 16-9 right now, and they have only won. They've only won they've won 2 conference games so far this year. After being a solid 13 and not, they were solid 13 and nothing before playing all these SEC schools and have lost 9 games since. They're 3-9. So we could talk about. I mean, the offense for Oklahoma has been so well, but their momentum might be killed at this point since they against all these SEC schools. If they run the one in the tournament, they're done. They're not moving on, and I don't see them moving on at all. However, you can't look past how good their offense was at one point, just killing every team that they were into. However, like let's just talk about it again. If they play a team like Creighton, I don't know if they're gonna move past Creighton. And then Purdue, they just need to get 2 wins after. They could do Creighton Purdue. I don't even know if they could get that. I honestly think they might be out first round this year. So for that take, I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10. It takes okay. It's just Oklahoma's team has been dead in the water since SEC play has started, and they have no momentum to back it up. Next up, Bama beats Auburn in a rematch in the Elite Eight matchup. Right now, that could be set up because if they end up on the same side bracket and the 1-1 play each other, we would get that matchup again. So we're just basically gonna analyze Auburn, Alabama for a second time. Could Bama do it again? Could Bama do it and get back on Auburn? And my response is yes. I think they could. I think they could do it. I think they also might not be able to do it, but I'm gonna say they can. In my opinion, Bama made that good run last year that no one kind of expected to see, but they were secretly a really good team in March Madness. I think they're gonna come back and do what they're trying to do and show off and show why that they're a good team to watch out for in March Madness. So, my opinion, yes, I could see Bama beating Auburn in a rematch and moving on. 8 out of 10 take. Um, Finally, Duke in the top 4 at least. We kind of just did talk about Duke making finishing the whole bracket as the winners. So top 4. That means they would just have to beat everyone on their side of the bracket and be yeah. So that's all I have to do. So again, we went over this so many times. They could, they might not be able to. It might be because of Tennessee. If Tennessee runs into them, they might be done. That's what I'm saying. So for that take, I'm not liking it. I think Tennessee would beat Duke right now, and that would be Duke being the first 1 seed out. Tennessee beating Duke would end what he says. So Duke, no. The take though, I think it's at least a solid 6 out of 10 because you can't just look past one of the best defenses in the league. Thank you for the take. Um, and then finally we got the biggest Ole Miss fan, biggest What else? Go Rebs, Hottie Toddy. Don't know what else I'll say about him. He just like really likes Ole Miss. So here we go. The take is his first take. We got UConn is a threat to win the whole thing still. I kind of hinted to this earlier. Yes, they are still a threat to win the whole thing. There's not even statistics I need to say. If you have won back to back national championships, you are a threat to win anything, period. I don't care. Even if you look bad in the off season, but look bad in the regular season, it doesn't matter. You still are a threat to anything. People are gonna be watching out for you and be like, that's the team that has won back to back. You have to be scared what's going through Dan Hurley's mind. Even if he's not performing that well right now, you never know when March comes that he could be storming right back and getting these one seeds out. Just like what if UConn beats Florida out of nowhere. People are gonna be scared. So yes, they are still a threat to win it all. That take I'll give that a 10 out of 10 because I 100% agree with that. Next up, two SEC teams will make the Final Four. Um, yes, I agree. Um, the teams that I think it will be is going to be a Florida. I see a Florida Auburn, a Florida Alabama. I can even see a Tennessee appearance, even if they don't perform up to their standards. But it's just two that have to get in. So in my mind, there's always someone that's like a five, that's like a high five or plus seed that gets in. I don't know if this gonna be any of those SEC teams, but it's two, he says two or more. So I think Alabama and Auburn could be the two. It could be Florida and Auburn. Could be. I think it could be all three. So yes, I like to take two. I'm gonna give that one 7 out of 10 though. I don't feel no. I'll give it 8. 8 out of 10. I don't feel as highly about it though. Um, as I would about the other two you just told me. Next up, a 15 or 16 seed wins round one. So right now, let's just think about 15 seeds. Towson's not being Tennessee. Um, America. Not even talking about Duke. I think Duke will win that round. Cleveland State's not being Purdue. Merrimack's not beating Alabama, and that's just for sure. Um, what else? And I'm just gonna be Bryant. I don't. This is not the year for that. I feel like this everyone's gonna be solid this year. Um, no, not right now. No, this is not the take. If it did happen though, sorry. Honestly, prove me wrong, but I don't think so. Um, 2 out of 10. This is always gonna happen though. Kentucky and St. John's are out the second round. So Kentucky, I haven't talked about them yet this video, but have been injured with Lamont Butler being out, and we don't know when he's gonna come back. But their team has not looked good whatsoever since the injury. I don't even know where they're at in brachiology. I think they're at 3, against Jacksonville State. But even that, I think it's good upset potential to take Illinois over Kentucky to get out in this and to get out in the second round right now. I like that take. We got St. John's though, who I just talked about making a run, getting out second round too. They're in that dirty 5 spot that no one likes to have. And they will have to face Kansas. Again, like I said, I like them going against Kansas right now. But if Kansas teams gets their act together, it might be good for Kansas to win that and then move on. So I actually like that take too. Um, for my take here, I agree with this 100%. I think this could easily happen if St. John's is not up to their A game on their defense against a team like Kansas, or Kentucky's not back from their injury from Mount Butler, so haven't adjusted. I think this could work out phenomenally. 10 out of 10 in my opinion. And finally, only two Big Ten teams make the Sweet 16. No, I don't agree with this. I'm gonna explain why I don't agree with this. The Big Ten has become one of the better conferences as of late. Uh, First off, Illinois. Wait, is this to Sweet 16? No, Illinois is gonna. I think Illinois can definitely make Sweet 16. Michigan's gonna probably make Sweet 16. Michigan State's probably there too. Um, if they can make the Sweet 16, that's already just them. in general. You haven't even talked about Wisconsin, who I think is the best team in the Big Ten right now. So that could happen. UCLA has potential to make it there. If they beat Texas Tech and they move out, that's possible too. I think there's at least more than two plus. I haven't even talked about some of those big schools yet. In the Big Ten. So no, I don't let that take. Um, for the chance that's gonna happen, zero. I don't see it. I think there's gonna be a lot of them. And that's it for him. So I'm just gonna get into my takes, elaborate on them a little bit, and we'll call it a day on the video. All right. So first take, Arkansas, if they get into the tournament, will win their first round matchup. We're starting off with a big take for me. I think honestly, you can't underlook Coach Capillary's. I know he led Kentucky's team getting out early every round, and now he's out in the tournament. Currently, bracketology has them getting in as an 11. If they get in as 11, play San Diego State, they will play Illinois. Illinois has not looked good as late. If Illinois does move on, I did have them beat Kentucky though. I'm just saying, if they don't get their stuff together, Arkansas can sneak in, beat Illinois, play Kentucky in the SEC matchup, which will be amazing to see. Arkansas versus Kentucky rematch in March Madness will be amazing to see. Arkansas had their number last time. They could advance to the Sweet 16 with a win over a team they've already beaten this year and Coach Capillary's old team. So yes, that's my take on that one. I think Arkansas team to watch out for. Moving on, we got Gonzaga out first round. Um, do I need to elaborate on how Gonzaga has been this year? They have not been the same team that they were supposed to be. Gonzaga is supposed to be this powerhouse school. They're supposed to be amazing. They're in such a horrible conference, but St. Mary's has taken over a team that is now the best in the WCC. So now you have Gonzaga stuck at an 8 seed, not one of those big seeds that they're supposed to have when their team was so good. So now, stuck at 8 seed going against New Mexico. Even if you win, you're playing Auburn. But my take is that they're out first round. And I think I can see it versus a New Mexico, versus a Baylor. Like it's honestly bound to happen versus Ohio State. I think they could just be done right there. So that's my take there. Next up, the what else do I have? But now my take is no Big East teams will make it past the round of Sweet 16. Let's get into it. We have four of them in right now. So Marquette, they will get out against Michigan State second round. Out right there. UConn out second round against Florida. That's another one done. Creighton beats Oklahoma, has some upset potential against Purdue. I think they also get out right there right now. And then St. John's has the only team that I could see breaking what I say here, but even that they could just lose to Kansas second round. I think they all get out round 32 or right before that. That's my take right there. Pretty simple about that. They're the four together right now. They've been all inconsistent, so I don't think any of them could do it. Um, Comes from a really big East fan, by the way. Also, finally, oh wait, look, two more. Nebraska will finally win their first tournament game ever. They are 0-8 in history of March Madness games, so this is the year I feel like they could actually win a game. It'll be an upset win too if they would. I think they're solid 10 right now. In brachiology, I think honestly that they could get the win here and maybe figure out they'll play Clemson. Clemson does have though a spite of ruining teams in general just to get through. So I wouldn't be shocked Clemson made a run. However, Nebraska has the team to do it this year and they could win their first tourney game if they get lucky with a 7 slot. If a team that's a 7 seed, that's pretty bad. Maybe not Clemson is who they want to play, but someone else. I think I could see. Finally, my winner pick, right here, right now. I'm not changing it. Houston is going to win March Madness. They're the most consistent team in college basketball, the most base team in college basketball. They have everything to do it, to win it this year. They have the team for it. Number three in offense, best defense. They're just so consistent. They're best in 3-point shooting. They're just that good. They could always play a team. The only teams that they've currently lost to are Alabama, top team, obviously, earlier in the year. San Diego State and OT. Both of those games were at OT. Auburn, who's a powerhouse school, and they lost to Texas Tech in OT. Um, they've three of their losses have came in OT. They've just lost it overtime. Three out of their four times they played, and their one actual pretty bad loss came to a team that was the best right now. So they haven't lost more than 5 points this season. They've won every other game. So I mean, come on, you have to take the team that has statistically been doing it um day by day. I mean, they're that efficient. Give them the trophy. I think Houston's gonna win this year. It's their year to do it. They're just that good. So that's my take. And with that being said, that is gonna end off my hot take video. Do you like some of these hot takes? I think I'm gonna get a couple of them that I said, like Arkansas. But I think it's honestly pretty good to see teams like Houston, teams like St. John's getting in here and show what they're made of, I think, honestly. So that's how I feel. Leave your predictions down below if you have any. If you don't like any of mine, you can ridicule me. I don't really care. But yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.